Landy and Abbott is to pay off
You're not hearing me.
a confrontation. A film where somewhere in this next 10 minutes the film's a new level of intensity. I think it starts to unfold in real time. Wanted in films when they become kinetic, when they are no longer boulders that you've got to push uphill to roll downhill. They seem to unfold of their own accord.
Things go bad.
And it happens when you've assembled the pieces in the right way, and that's often quite hard and painful, particularly in the cutting room, because it's about judging pace and what's really relevant and letting go of things that you like that maybe really work in isolation, and just creating a coiled spring. That's basically what it is, a motor mechanism, a story mechanism that's going to drive on and propel your characters through. And I think at this point, this set piece, I think, is where you really feel that this story is starting to take on a life of its own, that it's happening right in front of you. It's an important scene too, because it says something about the values of Bourne. I've noticed, but a few scenes earlier, Bourne on his way to the station, there's a little inconsequential shot of a set of posters. You don't know when you're watching the film for the first time, but in fact it's announcing a demonstration, and of course Bourne has seen that, lodged it in his mind, so when he makes this meet, he chooses Alexanderplatz because he knows that crowd will arrive at that time and will give him cover. Non-specific demonstration, in fact it's a student demonstration about tuition fees, but I wanted it to say something about the sort of division of the world between us and them. Uses the protesting crowd. It's his friend. It's their enemy, and that I think is very, very important in describing the universe in which Bourne's story plays out. It's a subversive universe. It's a universe where we can't trust the authorities. We can't trust what they're saying to us. And we have to search for our own answers as Bourne is searching for his. And those are on the street, from the secret world, the closed world, the world of authority. And that makes him a quite unique hero, I think, particularly in modern mainstream franchise cinema, if you like, mainstream Hollywood cinema. James Bond and Jason Bourne, they're superficially very similar characters. They're characters cut from the same cloth. They're characters that originated in Cold War books. You know, the Bond, the Ian Fleming novels and the Robert Ludlum novels. They were novels of the Cold War. They were both spies. But on film, Jason Bourne is a very different character from John. Embodies a value system. He's an insider. He loves the secrecy of it. He loves being a secret agent. He kills without remorse or regret. In fact, often he rather enjoys it and finds it humorous. He's an imperialist. He's a misogynist. He's a man who worships at the altar of technology. He's always got a gadget or some gun that comes out of a turret on the end of his car or something, some way whereby technology will rescue him. And he protects authority, and he has no doubts. Different character. Bourne is an outsider. He's on the run from authority. He's subversive of authority. He doesn't trust them at all. He doesn't want to kill at any cost. He would rather not kill. He's absolutely not a misogynist. He's a man racked with doubt and confusion, desperately searching for an answer. And that's what makes him contemporary and youthful, and that's why in the end I think that the Bourne character, the Bourne franchise, speaks to today's world, today's problems, tomorrow's problems, in a way that Bond cannot ever do, it seems to me. And I think that's why when you look at the Bourne Supremacy, I think you can see and want more chapters in the Bourne story. I think there are many more chapters contemporary thrillers, Bourne struggling for answers in a confused and threatening world, because I think that's where that we're in confused and confusing times. And I think what's in film is that it comes out at a time when, 9/11 inquiry, the various inquiries in Britain and America into the war in Iraq have shown that our governments, particularly the secret parts of our governments, have profoundly let us down, have not told us the truth about very, very important things like why we went to war. And the consequence of not having levelled with us is a great tide of mistrust, I think, coursing through both my country and the United States. I think that tide of mistrust is floating around, and so when you go to the cinema on a Saturday night and you see Jason Bourne on the streets of Europe and he's on the run from authority and he doesn't trust them and he can't trust what they say and he's desperately searching for answers, I think, yes, it's a fantastic ride, it's got to be entertaining, but something about that character, something about the way Matt does it speaks to where we are today. It just has that electricity, that resonance, that connection, so you go, I'm with that character, I want to know where he's going, I want to know what he's looking for, I'm invested in him, and when he walks those streets you're with him, and that's why I think this franchise will live on.
I need to show you something.
I mean, we've seen it a million times. It's the now I'm finally making progress scene. I'm starting to put these pieces together. And I wanted it to start to reveal a contemporary story. A story about oil and privatisation and a politician who'd been killed because he was standing up for fairness and justice. To realise that he had somehow been involved in this terrible thing, this undemocratic thing, this unprogressive thing, to make amends. How bad he is. Electrical closet where our fingerprint was found.
I mean, I'm with you, Congo was a nut, but a traitor.
He plays it quite beautifully, I think, because he's got an earnestness and a sort of professionalism. You'd find him in any government office. He's well-intentioned, he's ambitious, he's a doer. Be wrong in his earnestness, in the nature of the man he's dealing with.
It's a slam dunk, no.
As a young, earnest, naive government servant. Without compunction, and then you get this little look that Brian gives here. And it's tiny little bits of detail like that in a performance give a depth.
This is not a drill, soldier.
It's high order.
It's a live project.
Cooper back in a cameo from the grave. Just kept some continuity with the first film and of that bizarre and compelling character called Conklin. This scene, it's journey because he's got that open American face, but you look at those eyes, they're restless and troubled, and it's the desperation in those eyes and hope that maybe he might find an answer, but fear too. It's wash pacing here. Very difficult scene to play. I mean, think how far now Jason Bourne has been alone on this journey. Dialogue since before he fought with Yada in that house. You know exactly what journey he's on, you know what he's thinking, you know that he's evolving as a character. There's ingenuity and improvisation along the way. It's enacted, not told. Sequence, the net tightens around him. Gets closer to the mystery of the Brecker Hotel, so his enemies get closer to him. And it's, of course, suspenseful, exciting. To kind of come together, you know, a sense of visceral unfolding action, fractured mind, the boundaries between the past and the present starting to disintegrate. Liquidness of the imagery mingling with sharp detail, the syringe, the gun, hard, metallic, physical, sharp things that would jar and jolt in a smoothly flowing river of images. Would be the notion that Bourne had killed a woman. Treatment for this story, which is really where I began and came on, always had. The first pillar was the death of Marie at the beginning of the film. The second pillar was this shocking, recovered memory of Bourne slaughtering, leaving it as a murder-suicide. And the third pillar was the journey to their daughter at the end of the film. And as a group, all of us on a long, long journey for a whole year to try and find the best way to tell the story of Bourne's journey. Central pillars of the story never altered. They never altered in what they were, and they never altered in where they were. And in the end, that was Tony's. He made many, many.
Alright, I'm gonna take a look. Okay, I stopped it.